Do the Kings realize that they're basically playing a G League team? I mean, do they realize that they're basically playing a G League team tonight, and they're down 54 to 47 at the half? The story is really the free throw line, Ryan. If you look at Brooklyn in the first half, who have a lead of 54 to 47, they made 17 of 18 from the line. They went to the free throw line 18 times.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, especially when you only get there 8 times for the Kings. Granted, it's free points. It's being muscled around. It's being pushed around. It's second opportunities. And Grant, the turnovers, the Kings, 13 assists, 10 turnovers, Napes.
Terrible. What an awful half. Here's the problem I have with what I saw in the first half. You're coming off 2 straight losses. The first game didn't bother me because it's Denver. You got muscled, you got pushed around, you got manhandled in New York by the Knicks.
Yeah.
You had now 48 hours to say, okay, let's get back to where we were. We're playing a team that's lost 6 in a row. We're playing a team that's lost 9 of 10. We're playing a team that has all of their best players pretty much out for the most part, with the exception of 1 or 2, but they're decimated by injuries. And here's another issue I have. It's the same issue I've been talking about since October. The Kings bench is embarrassingly bad. It's awful. Look at their bench total in that first half. Are you freaking kidding me? Your bench only scored 4 points against the Nets in the first half? That's embarrassing.
Yeah, 24 points for the Nets bench, which is even crazier, Grant. Yeah, it's the same mistakes that I'm having a problem with. It's the not closing out properly on shooters, and you're fouling a 3-point shooter, fouling a jump shooter. Happened twice in the quarter. It's not bringing the physicality and bringing your brand of basketball. And to your point about the bench, Grant, Doug is searching. He played 9 guys in the first quarter. He's played 10 guys overall in this one. Grant, where are you going to turn next?
I said the other night, I'm looking at how the Kings are playing more than whether they win or lose. In other words, you can kind of walk around with blinders on sometimes. And Kings fans do that, and all fans do that. Let's just call it the way it is. A team wins and you think everything's fine and dandy. There's nothing that's fine and dandy with what I'm watching right now. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Yeah, this is a team that has not scored 100 points in their last 8 games at home, and they are well on their way at 54. So, Grant, for the Kings to come back here in the second half, it's got to start with the tempo and with the defense and the pace, because, Grant, defensively, it's been an absolute mess. They've had the Kings scrambling left and right.
And here's the other issue. Jerry always says this, and Jerry's got a commitment, so he's not joining us on this game. He'll be back for Philly at halftime. When you have a team that's playing awful, and the Nets are in that category, again, 6 straight losses, 9 of 10. You let them hang around and feel like, okay, this can be a time they're gonna bite you. This third quarter is gigantic for the Kings. The Kings better have the lead going into the fourth quarter of this game.
Yeah, and the other thing is you better watch for that Sabonis right elbow. He took a really hard fall on it. At times, even when he got the second offensive foul call, he was kind of holding that elbow. So what's that going to look like? You go down Sabonis, that's half of your offensive game plan.
If you lose Sabonis, you're done. You're just done. You're done. You would not beat Oklahoma City. You're not going to beat Minnesota. I mean, if you were to lose him, you're screwed.
Yep. The Kings went on a 10-0 run. They had a good little run to bring it back in the mid-second quarter. It came back, Grant. De'Aaron Fox, 14 points, playing a little bit better. DeMar DeRozan, 14 points. Anything you like from them in particular thus far?
You want to know the truth? I don't like anything that I saw in the first half because it's a team game, and as a team, the Kings were flat out awful. Let me plug in my AC just came out. Let me take care of this for a minute while you talk, all right?
Yeah, no worries. I would need my AC too after watching that. Yeah, it comes down to team basketball. Keegan Murray, can you stay out of foul trouble? I think the one thing that Doug Christie has kind of preached is let me take care of the back end. And in this case, the Kings seemed a little preoccupied with trying to get the whistle, trying to play for that rather than just finish the shot, get some points up. And it showed. The whistle will ultimately probably turn a little bit, but the next, like you said, Napes, 6 minutes to start the third is going to tell us everything we need to know about whether the starters should be resting, which for all intents and purposes, that's what this game should have been. Starters resting the fourth, or if we're going to see one down to the wire.
And I don't want to hear, and I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about some of the people on the screen on our channel, and I don't want to hear a damn word about the refs. All right, you're playing the Nets. All right, you're not playing. You're not playing Oklahoma City. You're playing the Nets. All right, you're playing the Nets. Thank you. You allowed the Nets to come out and score 30 points in the first quarter. I don't want to hear about the officials. You're playing the Nets, the freaking Nets.
Yeah.
Stop it already. So, yeah, I know DeRozan 14. I know Fox for anyone talking about Fox's pinky in the first half, but I just I'm so disappointed in what I saw in the first half collectively as a team. We can talk about individuals all we want. As a team, if I'm going to grade the Kings as a team in the first half, I'm giving the team an F. Okay, I'm giving them an F, not a D, an F. They failed the first half. They failed the first half because they're playing a bad team after 2 straight losses. This is a chance to get feeling good about yourself, get some momentum heading in for the rest of the road trip. And yes, maybe you'll come out and blow this team out in the second half. But based on the first 24 minutes, there's no reason to be optimistic.
No, it's 6 quarters in a row, to take Doug Christie's words exactly. He didn't recognize what basketball that was in New York against the Knicks. It wasn't his types of Kings basketball. And again, for this quarter, these 2 quarters, you haven't seen it. So you at least have to find a way to get that back on track. And I mean, Grant, you lose this one, I don't know where you're headed in
I do.
terms of
You're
the
heading out of
road
the
trip.
you're heading out of the top 10, and you might not ever see it again with the
Well,
schedule coming up.
and you're only halfway through the road trip at this point. You lose
Yep.
this, then you're staring at Philly, Oklahoma City.
Yeah. And you're playing Philly with all it looks like without Paul George,
Yep.
and they're playing. And Philly plays the Lakers tomorrow, so you're catching them on a second night of a back-to-back. But and I'm saying a big if you can't beat the Nets, why would I think you'd beat Philadelphia, regardless if they are playing tomorrow night or not? And no Embiid, Paul George. I didn't see the results of the MRI yet that he had. Did you? But
I
anyway,
did not. No.
he got hurt in the last game in the second quarter. But forget about that. I talked about it's not about whether you win or lose this game tonight against Brooklyn. To me, it's about how are you playing. And right now, they're playing awful basketball.
Yep, it's got to improve. And, the one thing that concerns me, Brooklyn makes a living when they play decent, when they win games, they shoot the 3 ball well. First half, they only shot at 29.4%. So should they get that going, if the Kings continue to foul on the perimeter and can't get Keegan Murray to stay in the game, it's going to come down to the wire. And you nailed it, partner. This is a G League team across from them.
Well, we will be on, of course, right after the game. We'll talk about it. We invite your phone calls, and we'll see if the Kings can turn this around. All right, prediction time. I'm going to say they do win this game because in my mind, I cannot comprehend the Kings playing a team this poorly, this bad, and not having one 40-point quarter. And I think that 40-point quarter is coming up in the third quarter. The Nets, I'm sorry, I'm looking at their roster. I'm looking at what they've done. I just can't see it. I got to believe that the Kings are going to have a 40-point quarter here coming up in either the third or fourth. And I think they're going to score close to 70. You think I'm crazy. I think they're going to score 70 points in the second half. And I got them winning this game 117 to 104.
Okay, I'm not going to go 70 points. I do think they win. Claxton, we're not sure if he's going to be back or not. He sprained his ankle, it looked like, and he limped off the court with some help. I'm going to say Kings win this one 107 to 102. 107, 102. And strictly because, Grant, the free throws. The Kings are going to get to the free throw line. It's going to come down to that. Can the Kings make free throws or not? And I think they will. They've shown that. They get this one.
And stop talking about the refs. I know you have an announcer that can't shut up about the refs, and it's an embarrassingly bad look for the organization and for everyone that's watching. But don't let her influence you, because most of the time she's wrong. Most of the time she has no idea what the hell she's talking about. So take it from me. Just watch and look at your own eyes and stop talking about the refs, because the refs have nothing to do with the Kings playing this poorly. Stop it, okay? Stop it. You're playing the Nets. You're not playing the Cavaliers or the Thunder. You're playing the Nets. Okay? Stop talking about the refs. You're playing the Nets.
The refs could be blind, and the Kings should be beating the Nets on most night. I also think Malik Monk, he had 4 turnovers there in that first half. He's been too good with the ball. I don't see that continuing either. But if you're going to go 10 deep, your pressure better pick up. The Kings are playing on the Nets' terms right now. The Nets need to play on the Kings' terms in the second
Well,
half.
you can talk about 10 deep, but McDermott's terrible. Alex Len only played 4 minutes. Carter still, to me, is a very unseasoned, very inexperienced rookie who doesn't have any confidence from his head coach. You have, and I'm talking about Devin Carter, who I think is going to be good in due time, by the way. Keon did nothing offensively in the first half. Okay. And then you have Trey Lyles, who's like a box of chocolates every game.
Yeah. You know what? I would guess, just like we saw McDermott get the Herder minutes early, this is going to be a Kevin Herder second half. Now, I'm not saying Kevin Herder's winning you this game. I'm saying Doug Christie's going to play him in the second half. But even that as a statement, it's crazy that you're going to have to go 11 deep while the game still matters to beat the Nets with 7 guys out, including Cam Johnson.
Boy, how sad is that?
Nuts.
Wow.
This answers.
Am I blind? Why don't I answer some other comments? Well, I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I don't answer your comments is because most of your comments are absolutely embarrassingly off the mark and bad. That's why I don't really respond to a lot of your comments, because the majority of your comments, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. That's why.
What are your final scores, by the way? Put them in the chat. We haven't gotten yours up there. We will get your take on it. Jose talking about the free throws. Yep. Absolutely. Paolo McDermott was not great. Did you see the layup? It almost hit the other goal because it hit off the backboard so hard. But yeah, they'll bounce back. They're going to get this one, but not the way you wanted it. Not you, Grant, you do this in Philadelphia, even if Embiid's not playing. Good night now.
Embiid's not playing. He's out.
That's what I said. Even when he's not playing.
And Paul George may not be playing either.
Right.
So we'll see. We're going to be on after the half. I got to believe, again, I think a 40-point quarter is coming up. I just got to believe it. I just don't see how it could be this bad against this team. So I'm going to be optimistic and say, again, I already gave you my score. I think the Kings are going to score 70 points in the second half. I hope I'm not eating my words. We'll be on right after the game, everyone. Try to enjoy the second half. Stop talking about the refs. You're playing the Nets. See you in about an hour. Bye-bye.